Hi, and welcome to the MyConsultant.ca show. I'm Sarah Ostapchuk,
And I'm Joshua Panteloresco.
and we're here to help you with the Canadian immigration process. This show is designed to be a brief way to inform you on Canadian immigration news headlines, immigration policy and program concepts, and introduce you to industry experts.
So what's that sweater like we were in there?
Yes, so this is a different take on Frosty, I guess, because he is juggling snowballs, and I realize it's a snowman juggling snowballs, and that may be morbid, but just don't think too hard about it. It's just a fun holiday sweater,
It's an ugly sweater.
an
Snow,
ugly, fun,
snowman with snowballs.
yes,
Okay,
that he is throwing.
okay,
Yep.
okay. Well, it's
Tis the season? No,
yeah, it is.
really.
I mean, maybe it might be. It might
It
actually
is
be.
the season to make snowmen, but
I think we should probably get to the news, I guess.
probably we should talk about the news. Yes, tell us the big story this week, Josh.
Well, we only have one story this week, but it is a big story. So the
Yeah.
story is Prime Minister Justin Trudeau writes Sean Fraser, he wrote him, a mandate letter on December 16th containing the trajectory of immigration of 2022.
So the mandate letter is something that I think Prime Minister Trudeau sends to ministers when he selects them for the first time. So he had sent some to Minister Mendicino, the previous Minister of Immigration. And I was taking a look, kind of comparing the two, the letters to Minister Fraser and to Minister Mendicino. And there's definitely some overlap there because it is the same government. It's still Prime Minister Trudeau's government. But there have been some key points that we thought were important to share that are a little bit different. So the first one we want to talk about, Prime Minister Trudeau, he called on Minister Fraser to continue bringing people into the country, both as a way to bolster our economy after the financial burden of COVID-19 and as a way to resettle those in threatening situations, a great example being Afghan refugees.
The second major point we're going to talk about today is making this one of the other mandates is to make the citizenship application process free for permanent residents who have fulfilled the requirements needed to obtain it.
Right. I think that's pretty clear, and I think it's a great idea. I mean,
Very overdue.
free is better. And the third and final point that we picked out of the letter to reference to you today is expand pathways to permanent residence for international students and temporary foreign workers through the express entry system. With respect to pathways for agricultural temporary foreign workers, you will be supported in this work by the Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food.
We will be talking more in depth about some of these other points brought in the mandate letter in a future episode of My Consultant, probably when we come back in the new year. But for right now, we are going into our final concepts in immigration segment. So, lights. We're not talking to the musician, are we?
No, not lights, just period. It is actually called the Cavalcade of Lights. It's a little example, it's meant to be an example of the types of celebrations that Canada has to offer during the holiday season. It takes place in downtown Toronto. And I just want to be clear, it's just an example. Toronto is not the be all end all of holiday tradition in Canada. I'm sure there's so many other amazing events that go on, but I'm originally from Toronto area. So when I was there visiting, I decided to get some footage of the event. It's really cool.
All right. Well, without further ado, here is the final concepts in immigration segment for the year.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the last Concepts in Immigration segment of 2021. I can't believe we're here already. I'm really excited about this segment because it is by no means a traditional segment. If you are watching the show regularly, it's not what you're used to. Unless you did see the episode on RNIPs and Moose Jaw, then you may know what's coming next. So for this episode, because it's holiday themed, we thought it would be a good idea to talk about Canadian holidays and traditions in Canada during the holiday season. However, that is more easier said than done because Canada is such a diverse place to live. There are so many different traditions. There's absolutely no way we could summarize what everybody does. But that's the beauty of living in Canada. when you come here, we don't ask you to put aside your traditions and join in on ours. We celebrate the fact that we have different traditions and we want to keep those alive. And we also want to make new ones too. So during this time of year, there's Diwali, there's Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's, Kwanzaa, Orthodox New Year's, there's the Chinese New Year, there's just a lot going on. But there's definitely some underlying similarities between a lot of these traditions and holidays. A couple that come to mind for me would be eating lots of food, regardless of what that food is, spending time with the people that you love, and lights, actually. The lighting of the tree for Christmas, the lighting of the menorah for Hanukkah. Diwali is the festival of lights. It is a reoccurring theme across the board and across the world. And so when thinking about sharing an example of a holiday tradition in Canada, the Cavalcade of Lights came to mind. And the Cavalcade of Lights is an event that happens in Toronto, and it has been happening for 55 years now. I'll go into a little bit more detail about the history and what happens in this next part of the segment. But when I was going back home for a visit, because I am originally from the Toronto area, I decided to attend the opening day of the Cavalcade of Lights and get some footage for you to enjoy. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Cavalcade of Lights.
Welcome to Toronto. As the largest city in Canada, it is a hub of culture and industry, attracting tourists from around the world, and it has the resources to host some of Canada's most diverse events. All across the city during this time of year, you can find numerous displays of lights. The Toronto Eaton Centre, for example, features large reindeer and a tree that spans 3 levels. But one of the best displays you can find during the holiday season in Toronto is the Cavalcade of Lights. The Cavalcade of Lights is not a new event, but an old tradition, which had its start in 1967. In previous years, it focused mainly on Christmas, but now in 2021, the focus is on the holiday season's diversity. Featured on scene was a 58-foot Christmas tree with over 300,000 energy-efficient lights and 500 ornaments, and a towering menorah statue to commemorate Hanukkah, which began on November 28th and ended on December 6th this year. This year's opening day also included performances from a vast array of cultures. There were Bollywood dancers, Chinese fire dancers, acrobats, and national ice skating champions. On November 27th, the evening opened with a land acknowledgement and speech from Indigenous elder Pat Grigger, followed by a speech by Mayor John Tory, who was happy to be celebrating this year, as last year the event was cancelled due to COVID-19. A great way to share in the season together is with lights, which are a part of many people's traditions around the world. They also symbolize hope during this pandemic. The event includes light installations inspired by light festivals globally, and there is also ice skating and ice sculptures. The Cavalcade of Lights is running from November 27th to January 7th. Each night from 5 to 11 p.m., Nathan Phillips Square will be lit with thousands of lights.
Well, that was really exciting for me to film. I really enjoyed attending the festival, and I hope you enjoyed the footage. If you do find yourself in the Toronto area around this time of year, definitely go to the festival. It's free, it's fun, it's cold, but the lights are so warm, and it's just a really good time. And thank you for joining me for this last segment on concepts in immigration. I really look forward to the new year and discussing more concepts with you and helping you understand Canadian immigration a little bit more. Let's rejoin Josh to close the show.
And, well, we have one more segment at the end, and that will be the blooper segment. Yes, folks, none of that is serious, right?
But it is all real footage of us
screwing up because we're trained
screwing
professionals. Trained professionals right here, ladies and gentlemen. But we are, speaking of being a trained professional, Sarah,
yes.
What's your favorite holiday tradition? What are you looking forward to this time of year?
I'm a cheesy person, I guess. I really do like traditions in general, holidays especially. And like my dad's always super into the holidays too. But something that sticks out for me, when I was younger, I was raised by my grandparents a little bit. My grandparents from Trinidad, and every Christmas Eve we would have jira chicken and like roti and just all of this really delicious Trini food. It was just a tradition. We would just do that on the 24th, and then on the 25th we'd have the turkey and everything. But I looked forward to the Jira chicken more so than turkey. So I miss that. That's not a thing anymore because they're both gone now. But yeah.
You can get to steal their recipe?
This is the thing with, Trini grandparents. They don't write anything down. It's just, my dad.
I have a similar problem. So
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do this for a few years, and I don't know when I'm going to get to do this again, unfortunately.
Hmm.
So during Christmas, I would go see both my grandmothers. But the one I always was more fondly, because I grew up there more, was my grandmother's mother on my dad's side. We'd go to her house in Detroit, Redford, Michigan. Whole family there. She makes this baked macaroni.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's really good. I'd have baked macaroni. We'd have turkey. We'd have a good meal. All the family would be there, and it was nice because it's one of the only few times a year we all see each other. So, we play cards, and it was a fun little thing. I mean, I am not much of a traditionalist. Unfortunately, Christmas something really bad in my childhood happened to me at Christmas, and we're not going to go into that because that's a dark thing for another episode. So I've never been able to look at Christmas the same way, but I do enjoy the family aspect of it. It's the one thing about it that I think is absolutely worthwhile doing. And
Yeah.
Well, folks, that's it for this year's episode of My Consultant. I want to say really quickly before we wrap up, it's been a pleasure by and large working with you, Sarah.
It has for me too. It's been really fun. I've loved doing this, and I'm really excited to see where this continues to go in the new year.
Yes, and we will be back January 13th. We'll be back a little sooner planning these episodes, but we'll be back January 13th. But beyond all that, for more information about the topics covered in this show, please visit MyConsultant.ca, where you can explore up-to-date news on important issues, read in-depth articles explaining immigration and citizenship, and seek answers to your most pressing questions from a vibrant community of authorized immigration and citizenship consultants. Also remember to check out the LinkedIn page. Have a happy holiday, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joshua Pintoresco.
And I'm Sarah Ostapchuk.
Aiding and assisting you to come to Canada.
Have a great holiday. Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
I don't know about that, but
E.T. phone home. E.T. phone.
Okay. Stop laughing at me. Do it again. Here we go.
All right, you good?
Just regular amounts. Are you good?
I was.
Sorry. Here we go.
Normally, we would have this week's
It was meant to be a brief way to inform you on Canadian news, immigration headlines. Yeah, no, I'm done. We're going to just stick to that one, okay?
Okay.
I don't think I could do it again.
And seek answers to your most pressing
We've got a lot going on for news this week, don't we, Josh?
Crap, I burped right in the mouth.
Did you?
Seriously,
we gotta. Okay.
You want a crunchy bagel?
I want it crunchy. I don't want to cut the roof of my mouth, but I want some give.
So basically, when you bite into it, you want to hear it.
Yeah, I want an audible bagel.
And that's not the only really big thing that happened today, is it, there, Sarah?
It wasn't today, though.
What did you learn doing this one?
I think that it was very eye-opening in terms of what are you doing?
Sorry. Wow. So it's 21 years old. So what?
Yes, it is.
Is this a holiday?
It's it's a holiday. And lastly, the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants. Is that really what it's called?
As well. I'm Joshua Pintoresco.
And I'm Sarah Ostapchuk.
And I don't know what to say after that. I can talk. I'm a professional. I'm totally professional. Yes.
Telling yourself that.
This week's news sponsored by Chunky, because we like our news wordy and lots of dates.
Like our news, like we like our stews.
Lumpy.
Meaty and chunky.